Okay, so here we are this morning, Grande Bastide. Great course, really looking forward to playing it. I haven't played it in 3 years. It's cold, it's early, and it's a bit hard work, I imagine, but let's see how we go. We're going to really focus hard on course management today, and hopefully it'll be fairways and greens, but if there's a bit of scrambling going on, you'll see that as well. So, looking forward to this. 9 holes, front 9, Grande Bastide, good course. Oh, let's go. Oh, this is just like first. Oh dear. Remember our first game back when I was just knocking them along the ground and couldn't get it going? I don't know, just feel really cold this morning. Okay, well, so the interesting thing about golf, particularly course management in golf, is you've got to figure out on the day what you're actually doing. And my start there, let's walk because we don't want to hold people up. My start there was terrible, and so you're then looking at recovery. And the key thing is always about where you miss. And so let's go and see where I've ended up here, because I pulled it a little bit left, so I'm still not into the zone, but at least it was a fair enough strike with a little wedge. So here's where we ended up, which shows you the benefit or the value of having a good pitch shot in your armoury. So even though I tugged that a little bit left, it's ended up okay, and I've now got a putt, despite the terrible first couple of shots, I've now got a putt where I can actually recover something, safe par. Now, this is early morning, and so that means the dew is still on the ground, and so it actually will take probably a little bit less break than it would do if it was bone dry. Oh, come on. God. Probably a bit hard. Anyway. That was a good chance at recovery. Not quite taken, but after the drive and after the second, I'll take that. So this hole is like a 90-degree dogleg, and you come across a lot of these when you're playing golf. And the key thing here is to try and make your life simple, stress-free. So rather than thinking, you know what, there is a shot that could take you over the top of the trees, you can spin round, have a look at the trees on the right hand side. Keep going. Yep. So the green is kind of almost over in that direction. So, but the smart way to play this is to knock it down, give yourself a short to mid-iron into the green. And there are many places that you can miss, but we'll cover that when we come up, because that's actually golf and course management. If you learn one thing from this, course management and playing golf is all about controlling your misses. Not your misses, as in your wife, but your misses, where you miss the ball. So if you understand where your shots are, where your dispersion is, and you can understand all that and play for that, then that's going to really help you and shave tens of shots off your score. Fine. So this is where I've ended up, which is probably about 40 yards left of where I was aiming, which is not good because it's given me a longer shot in, and I'm not a great lie, but I'll let these greenkeepers clear up first. before I hit my shot. So still not a long shot in, but it's okay. So what I've noticed so far is that I've hit a little bit left, and I'm on a sloping slope which is going to accentuate that. So my feet are below the ball, so I need to think in terms of aiming right here and allowing the ball just to kind of come round. So yeah, that's my plan, is knock it up. The miss here, the really bad shot here, is on the left because everything falls away and you can be in a lot of trouble. So I'm not planning on going anywhere near the left at all. I'm planning on going right at the flag and letting it drift back round. So let's see. So that's okay. That's pretty much where I was aiming. It didn't swing round very far, but it was a good solid strike, so that felt nice. Okay, so here's where we've ended up. We were kind of short at the flag, so we're probably a full club shot, and I hit it pretty solid, so that's fine. Don't mind that, and I'm not down over the left. So I've got a little chip now, and actually basically because it's again really wet, there's no way that I can run this onto the green through this semi-rough, which in a dry day you probably could. So what my plan here is to pitch it just onto the green and let it release and roll down. Now the guys have just swept it, so all the dew's off, so it will not be as slow as the last green, but that's how we need to play it. Just knock it on. So just a simple wedge, sand wedge. So the key with this shot is always keeping your hands in front of the ball. So you can almost practice this one-handed so that you're keeping your hands in front of the ball. That way you should always guarantee yourself a reasonable strike. Weight more on your left side than on your right, but the idea is just to pop it up just on the green and allow it to release down to the flag. Hands in front of the ball, gently back, gently through, letting the club do the work. A bit hard, but still okay. So basically those putts you're going to make 3 out of 10 if you're lucky, because that was a big swinging putt. So the problem for me was the drive, but anyway, we go. Okay, so this is the third. This hole straight away. Actually, the trouble here is on the right, which is where the trees are and the bunkers are. Ideally, you want to hit this almost straight in line with the trees, so we're at the back of the green. That's the idea. Wind is coming slightly into us and slightly across, so it should be pushing me away from the trouble. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Fine. Okay. Slightly left of where I want it to be, but no trouble, and away from your misses. So here we are. This is actually 20-30 metres shorter than I would normally drive it, but I'm taking that down to the fact that it's early morning, I'm still not warmed up, and we got a lot longer to go than I would expect. So I'm having to think about this shot slightly differently. So the really bad shot here, flag is pretty much central of the green. There are bunkers on the left-hand side, and they're okay actually, to be fair, as a miss, but the worst shot would be to go right. If you go long and right, that's not clever. Short and right's not that great either. So the ideal is to get something going that actually gets us up towards the green, as long as I'm not on the right-hand side. I don't mind being short, I don't mind being slightly left, but I really mind being long, which is where there's a lot of rubbish, and right. So that's the thinking process. Now just got to get a club in place that allows me to do that job. So actually, because I know that I'm not swinging great as yet, I'm not fully warmed up, which is, my bad. And because I've got a wind into me and it's slightly further than I thought, thinking about this thing, all I'm going to do is take a little 3/4, like an 80% shot on my little recovery club, my little 7-wood. So if I swung this full, I would probably go beyond the green. But because I'm thinking I need to hit it solid, but I'm not fully aggressive yet, this is how I'm going to play it. So I came over the top again and I've gone left, which is... So it was probably perfect in terms of length, but yeah, I'm not swinging right yet. Oh. That's better. So that's just using the club face and the slope to get it. Right, that's quite sharp. So hopefully we hold the putt and we walk away with the par. Okay. So actually a good chip shot makes a difference in your scoring. Right, so this is a par 3. It feels longer than it actually reads. It's probably only about 180 yards. But it's slightly into the wind and it's early morning, so I'm taking slightly more club. There's no problem in front of the hole here. Problem is all long, so I don't think I'll get here with... I don't think this will cause me a lot of problems in terms of distance. It's just whether I can get the ball going straight as opposed to left as I've been playing all day. So let's try that one. Yep, so that's short and right, which is not great, but it's actually not in any trouble either. So normally the way that I would play this shot, which is just slightly shy of the green, but with an uphill and then onto an uphill running green, is I would normally play this as a bump and run, which is take like an 8-iron or a 7-iron, roll it in and get out. But because of all this dew, and because I don't know how this is going to behave, I'm going to knock it onto the green and then just allow it to roll up the hill. That's my plan. So it won't be bump, it will be float a little bit and then run out. Oh, God. Rubbish. Rubbish. Okay. Right. So this is a dog leg round to the right. There's big copse of trees just ahead there, which are you can either, if you're feeling like knocking a high ball, then you can knock it over the top of that, or you can just shape the ball round to the left. Because of the way I'm swinging, I don't know what I can do what I'd normally do, which is try and knock it over the top of those trees. So I'm going to aim for that tree down on the left hand side of the fairway and just try and move the ball round. I did a bit of both. But that's fine. That's perfect. I moved it round and I hit it high. So this is a 2-tier green with trouble on the left and the flag on the left, but there's a lot of space on the right and there's no problem short. The big problem in this is left and long. That leaves a really tricky chip. So I'd love to be on the top level, but the risk of going on the top level, particularly when you are clubbing as I am just now, which is all by eye, and I'm not swinging it great, is that you end up hitting it slightly too long. I'm going to go with this. It's in the right direction, but short. Run on, run up, run up, run up, run, 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 run. Ah, you know what? I'm very happy with that. I'll take that. That's, I think they call that shot a commercial shot, something like that. Whoa! Good grief! That was way faster than I thought. And then slow back up the hill. Good God. Yeah. So this is a par 5, and this is a classic 3-shotter for me, and I suspect for most senior golfers or most experienced golfers. A 5 is like really what you're looking for. You're hoping that you get yourself in a position for your third shot, so that's how you're thinking it back. Your third shot should be a wedge onto the green, and so you're then thinking about where you need to put it off the tee to get there. So if you look at this one, the trouble off the tee is on your left hand side with this big bunker. And so what we want to do is we want to avoid that. There's plenty of room up the right, there's plenty of room in the middle. The more left you are, the easier your next shot is on this hole, because I've played the hole. But generally, get your tee shot away, get your second shot up to within 100 yards of the green, and then you're good to go. You're then into one of your scoring shots, which is your wedge. Yeah, God almighty. So I should take my own advice and swing a bit more freely, because that was just a horrible golf swing. So anyway, what I've done there is I've kind of smothered the ball. I've hit it low and I've hit it left. I've actually hit it left of the bunker, which is where the trouble is, on the bunker. So I think I'm probably going to be okay, but that's more luck than judgment. That's certainly not what I would recommend you do. So at some point in this round, I'm going to start swinging more freely, and we'll actually get a game of golf going. So here's where I've ended up. I'm kind of left of the fairway, left of the bunker, left of everything. And actually it's not too bad, but that's more by luck than by design. So not what I'd recommend. But now you've got to take what you've got, and you've got to actually play the next shot. And the next shot is just to get it up towards an area where I can at least try and score. So this is just a little nudge forward with a 3-wood. Swing freely. And that's pretty much perfect for me. Okay. Not bad. Oh, we've got a chance for birdie even after that terrible first drive. Yeah. Well, at least I didn't knock it 20 feet past like I did the last one. Okay. Well, that's a par, so we'll take that. Right, so this is just a straightaway par 3. All the trouble's on the right hand side, unless we go really far left, in which case there's water and rubbish on there. So this one is just straight away. It's a sort of short iron, so nothing too difficult about it. So hopefully we can get it in close and give ourselves a chance. Well, it felt straight leftish maybe. Okay. Still get a 3 though. Whew, made it hard work though. So the one good thing about that is I went past the hole so I could see where the break was on the way back round, but I don't recommend knocking it 10 feet past and leaving yourself a 10-footer to hole for par. But anyway, that's what we did. It's pretty interesting. This falls into the sort of long par 4 category for an experienced golfer, for a senior golfer. And so there are two ways of doing this. They've got some really sneakily placed bunkers, which if you look, you'll see them just there. And they're at about 230 yards, 240 yards away. So for a senior golfer, that's kind of quite a big hit. There's also miles of country to the right-hand side. Now, the way I did this when I was playing 3 years ago was I would knock it over the top of these bunkers. I'm not convinced that I can do that today, but for the purposes of just having a laugh and having a go, I think I'll do exactly that. I'll give it a try. So I might see a bit more venom in this tee shot than you've seen in my gentle, rubbishy ones so far. Well, I can't hit that any better. That is like the best I've got. Hey, made it over. So, that's the top of the bunker. So my joy was short-lived. I expected to be miles down the fairway. I've just clipped it over the top and no more. So I've now got another couple of 100 yards plus, by the looks of it, to go to the green. Just waiting the green clearing, which is ambitious of me. Problem here is all on the right and long, and I don't need to worry about long, but I do need to worry about right. So pin looks like it's the front, so I'm just going to take a little, this is my 3-wood, which I can generally fly about that distance. So I'm going to have a go at this off a slightly downhill lie, so it'll not be a nice high shot, but hopefully it'll get us in the vicinity. As I say, I don't mind being short, I don't mind being left particularly. It's actually a bit more downhill than I'd thought when I was standing here. Now that I've addressed the ball, it's quite downhill, which means I'm going to aim left, because the tendency here is for the ball to kind of swing towards the right. So it's just about weight. So a bit squirty, a bit right. It's going to get, yeah, not great, but hey ho. Okay, so here's where we ended up. We're 20 yards, 20 a bit yards short. So this, if you're playing really well and you're playing a lot, is where you can really, shave shots off your score. So for me, this shot, again in dry weather, I'd probably be bumping this because it's pretty flat. But in this, because I'm not sure how it's going to react with all the dew still on the ground, my plan is to pitch it like towards the fringe and just let it release. Stay there. That's probably, from what I was looking at, it's maybe like a 7 out of 10. Pretty much what I thought. Ran on a little bit more than I wanted it to. There we go. So that length of putt is probably a putt that you would hole 6 times out of 10, so that felt good. So 7 out of 10 chip, 10 out of 10 chip, 10 out of 10 putt. See you went. So this is my favourite hole on this golf course. This used to be the 15th, it's now the 9th. And it's my favourite here because it demands total commitment. You've got water on your left, you've got water long and on your right, which runs all the way up the right towards the green, and then at the back of the green you've got a couple of big bunkers. So it's the kind of golf hole that has been really well thought through and really well designed. It's not particularly long, but long enough to challenge. So the idea here is to place your tee shot. You really need to be down the middle. Trouble's all left. If you're right, then your second shot is going to be longer, and it's longer principally over water. So it's important that you actually get your tee shot away. So you've got to commit to your tee shot, and if you do that, then you can set it up so you can really play a good hole. So let's see. pretty much where I caught it, right? So here's where we ended up, which is like just about perfect. We're right in the middle of the fairway. The ball flew pretty much where I was aiming, which is great. I've now got sun in my eyes, obviously, but there is, if you look up at the green, Ewan, you see to the right hand side you've got water, so you want to avoid that. To the left hand side you've got bunkers, so you want to avoid that. The pin looks to me like it's kind of middle-ish, I would think. So this is just a case of picking the club and then hitting the shot. It's really that simple. And this should be like a stock scoring shot. So I'm expecting to be inside 15-20 feet really when I hit this shot. Oh, I've tugged it left. Ugh. So we've actually ended up in the bunker and we've got one of these shots that nobody particularly likes. We've got a bunker shot over a little bit rough, so I need to be able to hit it far enough that it gets onto the fringe, but I don't want to hit it too far because there's water at the back there with a whole lot of ducks, and if you have a look, which is great. But as always, with a bunker shot, you're just trying to do the easy thing. You're hitting behind the ball, you're popping the shot up, and then you're just trusting your swing that you can land it. I want to land this on the fringe and let it roll down to the hole. So, here we go. That was a bunker shot shank. Oh, perfect. Okay. So that was a bit of a scramble, those nines, which is not how I normally play. I normally play fairways and greens. Yet that wasn't. So my course management had to be really sharp. My short game had to be way sharper than it normally is. But that's a good thing. I'm really happy with that. So the last 4 holes, I think we parred them all, 4, maybe even 5, as we got into the swing of it. It was a bit hard this morning because it was cold. We were kind of, and I've got a sniffle, so sorry if that's coming through. But the whole thing is, short game, really important to save shots off your short game, really important to save shots off your game. Does that sound right? Short game, really important. So that was an interesting front nine at Grande Bastide, because normally my game is fairways and greens, and today was not very many fairways and not very many greens. So I had to do quite a lot of scrambling. But towards the end, as I started playing a bit, as I started getting into it a bit more, then my short game got a bit sharper. I holed a few putts, and we were able to get ourselves around the golf course, and that's fine. Second nine, which you'll see coming up next, is actually going to be completely different. I'm determined that I'm going to go fairways and greens.